patted her belly and then pulled her messy, graying, golden copper hair into a loose bun. She topped it with an old, stained sun hat. There were many ogling eyes where she was going, and far too often her locks garnered her unwanted attention. It was best to get in and out as quickly as she could. She got out, pulled some more plastic grocery bags from the trunk, and headed down the alleyway between two abandoned shops, now overrun with squatters. Once she reached the alley, the odors of alcohol and urine made her gag. It saddened her that these people had to live like that. If only she could do more, but she already gave them more than she should. She was fortunate that her son and daughter-in-law were so generous with her, or she could never afford to help Sydney or any of the others. Lottie stepped over a puddle of she didn't want to know what, since it hadn't rained recently. Laughter roared down an alley to her right. A scuffle sounded on the left. She took a deep breath and quickened her pace. As nervous as some of the homeless made her, they weren't the ones she truly feared. Wherever Lottie went, even in her safe little backyard, she watched for them. She would never stop. Finally, she made it to the old department store where some of the families lived. It hurt her heart that children lived here. Some people had suggested she report them to family services, but tearing those precious little ones from their loving parents would shatter her heart to pieces. Once inside, Lottie headed for the back of the building, smiling at all the children who crossed her path. She slid them packs of fruit snacks until she had no more. "Thanks, Miss Lottie." The little girl in loose, dirty pigtails who'd gotten the last pack smiled at her. She showed off a gap in her front teeth. "Did you lose another tooth, Raina?" She nodded, but her smile faded. "I wish the tooth fairy came here." Lottie set down a bag, dug in her jeans pocket, and pulled out a quarter. "I found this outside. Maybe she dropped it on the way in here." Raina's eyes widened. "You think so?" "I do." Lottie put the quarter in the girl's palm and picked up the grocery bag. "Don't lose that." The little girl rubbed it between her thumb and first finger. "I won't." She scampered away, giggling. Lottie stepped over a broken, grimy mannequin and made her way to the back, where the three families she visited weekly lived. She gave each family one overstuffed bag, made some small talk, and rushed outside, eager to get to her clean, safe home before her own groceries went bad in the trunk. Just before she came to the street, a man holding a half-empty booze bottle stepped out in front of her. He smiled, showing more missing teeth than little Raina. "Excuse me." Lottie stepped to the side, careful not to make eye contact. He moved in front of her again. "Up for a good time?" She glared at him. "My burly son is expecting to hear from me. If he doesn't, he's coming right here to find me." The man held her gaze for a moment, but then stepped to the side. Lottie hurried out to the street and breathed a sigh of relief. Her car was only a block away. She turned toward it, and a stocky, dark-haired, bearded man, just taller than she was, stepped out from behind a faded blue van. Her blood ran cold. I thought you were in jail." "I was, thanks to you and your brat." She struggled to breathe normally. Her car wasn't far. She needed to make a run for it. The man stepped closer. Two more jumped out from behind the vehicle. Lottie recognized them also. She spun around and bolted away from them and her car. Multiple hands grabbed onto her, squeezing. She screamed. A large palm covered her mouth, and nails dug into her cheeks and under her jaw. They dragged her toward the van and opened its side door. The men shoved her inside. A rough, unfinished box resembling a coffin sat open on the floor. She fought harder, but they forced her inside. Someone hit her on the head. The lid came down over her, shrouding her in darkness. She yelled and pushed on the lid with all her strength, using her hands and feet. A lock clicked into place. Family. Alex Mercer read over his blog post one last time, checking for errors. There were none that he could see, but then again, his grammar sucked. Luckily, his readers weren't usually worried about that. He pressed publish.